If you're waiting for an apology or some explicit expression of remorse about infidelity, pull up a comfortable chair and get ready to sit for a while. The ability to repent for an act of betrayal requires a level of evolution that most people never aspire to reach. Today on Our Space, we see how waiting for an apology you may never get will keep you stuck in a marriage of lies, unable to move on with your life. Any chance for a successful marriage if the wayward continues to deny the proven affair? Below was original at 10 weeks. The post has been updated at week 16. My first post about my personal life, and this one is detailed. My wife, 44 years old, is my first and only love. We've been together 25 years and married for 19. We have two incredible children, 11 and 13 years old. I'm a highly educated, financially successful 44-year-old male. I'm fit, social, secure, and able to retire. Unfortunately, my career success came with working 80-plus hours weeks and extensive travel away from home for the past 20 years. This clearly contributed to reasons for the affair. Since D-Day, 10 weeks, I'm devastated personally and depressed for the first time in my life. I still cry every day and can't focus on work. I'm neglecting my companies. In the past, I never discussed my feelings with anyone. However, I've joined a men's support group, which has been excellent. I'm reading about this topic extensively and have a few close friends that I can lean on. I'm hitting the gym. We also began marriage counseling. My wayward wife has fearful avoidant attachment and, to my dismay, admires the level of independent traits of a dismissive avoidant. Her love language is quality time, acts of service, and words of affirmation. I failed to provide her with those three things, but the affair partner did. The affair partner is a Spanish-speaking employee of ours. He worked closely with wayward wife for a year before it became a full emotional affair. Early in the emotional affair, I discovered that wayward wife had a deep friendship with the affair partner, a recently married employee that gave her adventure, etc. Affair partner and I are opposites. And I forced her to draw a new line that was strictly professional. I was naive. After her attempt to break up with the affair partner, I recently learned the emotional affair restarted about a month later and did progress into a physical affair over the next 5 months. She had an STI scare that led to them fighting and breaking up. She slowly withdrew from him, trying to end the emotional affair relationship, but keep it only as professional. After about 18 total months, the emotional affair was fully over in late 2021. I don't believe that she ever wanted to leave me. She just wanted the extra excitement, and it became an unwanted attraction to her. I began discovering the details in June of 2022. Since then, I terminated the affair partner's employment and believe that wayward wife now has zero contact. I want to reconcile with my wife and already have a superficial level so that our household is calm and increasingly affectionate. We are more lovingly intimate recently than we have been in many years. However, it seems fake because of her continual denial, lying about the events. I have always relied on trust as the foundation for a healthy relationship, in business and other areas of my life. I have zero tolerance for people that I can't trust. I understand that people make mistakes. I could have been a better husband and recently wrote her a long apology letter to have a clean slate. Of course, she has not apologized to me because she claims innocence and remains with the position that I need to work on myself. I have the ability to forgive what happens in the past. However, I struggle with the ongoing secret and lying. I'm convinced that she knows she made a mistake and wants to be with me. However, she has too much shame and desire to protect herself to admit what happened. She likely justifies it to herself because she ended the affair and has done a bunch of deep self-therapy where she feels that she is mentally healthy now. To me, it seems she will be lying about this to me for the rest of our lives. After continually stonewalling the conversation about the affair and evidence that I've uncovered, she adamantly told me at 7 weeks D-Day that she will never talk about the past again. For the first time in my life, I literally screamed through the phone. It was devastating to hear because learning about what happened is key for my recovery. I'm having difficulty giving up the investigation and continuing to learn about the affair, which helps me understand it better, mostly to protect myself in the future. Since then, I stopped asking her questions, which makes me bitter, but I am building a superficially happy relationship with her again. Due to this building resentment, I'm beginning to have strong desires to revenge cheat. For now, I'm channeling this energy back into my relationship with my wayward wife and setting up dates and weekend getaways. Logically, I know it's important for me to remain faithful, and I'm sure that I will. Is there any hope that we'll be happy for the long term without wayward wife confessing and showing remorse? Any encouragement or advice is welcome. Ask for advice, you're gonna get it. Mixture According 4911 says, "Sounds to me like you are very emotionally intelligent but insanely over-trusting. She knows this and has weaponized it against you. She is calling your bluff. If anyone has any better advice, I would take it, but as of now, I don't see any way that this resolves itself in reconciliation, unless you take a firm stance and stop what appears to be sweeping it under the rug. Go speak to a lawyer and start filing for divorce. Serve the papers. Move her out if you can. Remove her from the business if possible. The whole 9 yards. Lastly, but most importantly, absolutely stop with the excuses. She cheated because she had low morals and cared more for her joy than your love or sanity. She cheated because she didn't respect you or herself enough not to. She had 100 other options and she chose the one that said, F him, I don't care. You may not have been perfect, but good people do not cheat on bad partners. They leave them. I don't mean this to say reconciliation can't fix all of that. It can, but if you rug sweep it and act like a doormat, she will continue to walk all over you. You need to force the issue. Be prepared to walk away and then see if she may open to reconciliation on proper terms. If not, you need to leave and work on teaching your kids more about self-respect because their mother has none at the moment. Good luck no matter what. I hope this didn't offend you. I just want to see you succeed and was sharing my thoughts about the only way I can see it happening. Username 196116191 says, I think filing for divorce, even if you don't want a divorce, OP, can be a tactic. Your wife is facing no consequences. I don't think reconciliation can work if she takes no ownership of her actions and the consequences on you. Our next response comes from DL4222. I imagine that the more you dig, the more you will find. This tends to be the way of things. And this is part of the reason why she is pushing back and stonewalling you. In answer to your specific question, if one party refuses to address what happened in the past and how it affects things in the future, then it is hard to see a successful outcome. The OP replies, You're right. I'm still digging and keep finding. It's not trickle truth, it's trickle discovery. Big Bad Booty Daddy 10 says, The reason your wife is doing this is because you are negotiating from a position of weakness. She knows you won't leave, due to insecurity or the kids or financial repercussions, so she has no impetus to change. My advice to you is just to file for divorce and find someone else, or learn to live with it and don't complain about it. Those are really your only reasonable options. How about ask her which of those options she wants? But you have to mean it if you ask her. The OP replies, The reason your wife is doing this is because you're negotiating from a position of weakness. She knows you won't leave due to insecurity or kids or financial repercussions. She has no impetus to change. Wow. I think that you're right about the position of weakness. I thought I was taking the high road, but I've made it easy to keep up the lies. Honestly, OP, if she can't come to terms with her own behavior and she isn't acknowledging what she did wrong, it doesn't matter how convinced you are that you think she knows she made a mistake and wants to be with you. She needs to acknowledge these things before moving forward, or else it will come up again in the future, and possibly even worse. Sure, we can forgive so that we can move on with our own lives, but that doesn't mean events didn't happen. They did. She needs to take responsibility for it and for the fact that she utterly betrayed you the way she did, even after you knew something was up and encouraged a strictly professional relationship. Don't fall into the denial. You both know what happened. She needs to own up to it. This can't be brushed off or buried away anymore, and revenge cheating isn't the answer. Do you think OP should have been so forgiving? Update. I took your advice. Her denied affair is now confessed, finally. Now is 16 weeks D-Day. I took your advice. I changed strategy and did the 180 with attorney, etc. Update to initial post, which was 10 weeks D-Day, asking any chance for successful marriage if continues denial. Her final confession at 14 weeks revealed more lies at today's discovery session, week 16. Getting to a confession took threats of divorce, intensive marriage counseling, and an emotional outburst where I was calling the affair partner's wife in front of her. The result? My soon-to-be ex-wife admitted to having sex 2 to 3 times a week with our employee, full-time handyman, for 15 months, from February 2021 to May of 2022. Supposedly, this was almost all in the backseat of her SUV. She didn't end it with him until my initial D-Day of finding our notebook, which was only 1 day before I took her and our family on a $25,000 trip to Paris. She broke up with a affair partner after Paris because I discovered her notebook. She said it was winding down anyway and happy it was over. She had tried to end it since it began, but didn't have the courage. It wasn't happy or healthy for her, but she was strangely stuck and needing his emotional approval. It was obvious from the notebook that her affair was tumultuous for 2 years. Initially, she had a 2-year emotional affair, beginning February of 2019, before the 15-month sexual affair began. I don't understand her relationship with the affair partner at all. She claims limerence, and was clear that contemplated breaking up with him for most of the 15 months. It was a constant drama. However, I was totally oblivious. She was having sex with me as well. We led a normal married life of sex 1 to 3 times a week, dates and vacations, etc. She had lived 2 lives. I think about it like she chose a second husband, but just never told me. She claims no other affairs. She wants to reconcile, of course. Upon confession, I immediately called and met with the affair partner's wife, based on the advice received here on Reddit. The affair partner's wife was devastated, but so happy to know. She is planning to divorce and fight his immigration process. I am supporting her financially, including for her to have counseling. Soon-to-be ex-wife is an excellent liar that had passed a polygraph. I'd warn anyone that is thinking about using a polygraph as a truth tool that it can easily backfire if she is a good liar. She had used that against me during the 14 weeks of her denial. Now that I know, and the lack of true remorse during the 16 weeks, I'm ready for divorce. She is extremely sorry now and wants us to stay together. We're signed up for an affair recovery course. I'll use this to try to heal and forgive as we have 2 incredible children to raise together. She really isn't capable of loving the way that I loved her. Had some childhood trauma and maybe some type of disorder? Tonight, I got a beach condo to separate for the first time in our 20+ years. During the daytime, we are raising our kids and acting normal. It will take time to separate our lives and get a divorce because we're financially complicated. I really don't know how to be alone yet. I'm truly broken without having my best friend any longer. Upon learning the truth today through a 3-hour marriage counseling session, it is really strange how good I feel considering the mess. I'm looking forward to the next chapter of my life. I couldn't have this positive feeling if I was considering to reconcile. Our kids have started counseling as well. The affair partner spent significant time at our house and knows our children well, gave them many gifts, etc. We are all no contact and I'm trying to remove triggers from his presence in our lives. Thank you to this community for the support. I appreciate any advice or encouragement. D-rated Avenger has some thoughts. Someone who lies this easily is only emotionally dangerous. It sounds almost sociopathic. You are making the right choice to move on. I Suck at Golf 75 chimes in. She isn't sorry. She is sorry she got caught. Never take her back. Don't Rightly Know thinks this. Wow. She was truly living a totally separate life with her affair partner. She has to have severe mental issues to be able to do that and to be able to defeat the polygraph. If she had any advance warning of the test, there are meds that can help you pass. No matter her excuse for doing what she did, it all boils down to, she did it because she wanted to and thought she'd never get caught. If you decided to stay, you would never trust her again. You'd have to be the marriage police for the remainder of your marriage. The OP replies, the poly was a surprise and she could not have planned for it. Enforcement X says, wow, OP. As catastrophic as that is, I'm glad you finally got the truth. Sleeping with someone 2 to 3 times a week for 15 months isn't the actions of someone trying to end the affair, or of someone with any empathy or morality for that matter. She could sugarcoat it and say it was tumultuous and she just couldn't find a way out all she wants. Ultimately, she chose to climb in the back of her SUV with him somewhere between 130 and 195 times. And then allowing you to have him at your house around your children while hiding the secret from you is just a whole other level of despicable. You deserve better and someone with your stats will find better. She, on the other hand, will have a difficult time finding someone to match your caliber. Good luck, OP. Rooting for you. I'm so sorry, OP. I'm glad to hear that you seem to be feeling good despite everything going on. That's a good sign of growth and healing. You don't need someone in your life who is willing to do horrendous things behind your back and lie to your face about it. She wants you back and wants to make it work now, but it's far too late. She should have wanted to make it work with you all along and not given in to her disgusting desires. If she wanted someone's emotional support, she should have sought out the help of a professional rather than turning to affair partners. She should have told you how she was feeling so that the both of you could have worked whatever was going on between you out together. Again, I'm so sorry, OP, but I'm happy to hear that you're moving onwards and upwards into this next chapter of your life. What are your thoughts? Like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. We'd hate for you to miss it. Until next time.